Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Abdul Nasir Jangda. Just wanted to record a quick message and give a shout out to all the students, particularly the volunteers at the John Jay campus, the John Jay MSA. Alhamdulillah, it was a really great event last night. I apologize for my informal dress and presentation, but alhamdulillah, the event was a real experience last night. A bunch of people turned out. I myself really benefited, really enjoyed the event. And so first and foremost, like I said last night, wanted to thank everyone for putting the event together and really contributing a lot and making it possible. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless and reward, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from everyone. I wanted to just share not only some words of encouragement, but some words of advice for the young brothers and sisters who helped coordinate the event and really make it happen. First and foremost, I remember one of the pieces of advice that one of our teachers always used to share with us, particularly about doing Islamic work, any type of Islamic work. You know, Ibrahim alayhi salam and his son Ismail alayhi salam, when they were constructing the Kaaba, they were raising the foundations of the Kaaba, as the Quran calls it. وَإِذْ يَرْفَعُ إِبْرَاهِيمُ الْقَوَاعِدَ مِنَ الْبَيْتِ وَإِسْمَاعِيلُ. They're raising the foundations of the Kaaba, and he said, pay attention to their dua. Their dua is رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ. They didn't say, oh Allah, make it successful. They didn't even actually pray for reward initially. They just said, oh Allah, please accept this from us. And based off of that, you know, our teacher always used to remind us that whenever you do any type of Islamic effort, Islamic work, always ask Allah, pray to Allah for acceptance. We usually always say, make dua, Allah makes it successful. No, there's vanity in asking for success. Because asking and making dua for success implies that I need 300 people to show up to the event. Because if 300 people don't show up to the event, it wasn't successful, and that's my payoff. But we ask Allah for acceptance. I was talking to the brothers, and they were telling me that one of the first MSA events that they, themselves attended, there were 10 people there. But who knows, that might not have looked very successful to a lot of people, but it was accepted by Allah. And that 10-person event led to the 300-person event. So always ask for acceptance. You know, I heard somebody say this one time, plant a tree that somebody else will sit under the shade of. So always ask Allah for acceptance. So first and foremost, for our efforts, whatever little humble efforts that we do and the great efforts that you guys are making, that y'all are making, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for acceptance. That's the first thing I want to talk to you about. The second thing is that you guys, mashallah, have gotten the ball rolling. You know, I was given a lot of background and history even before I came for the event, and the brothers were kind of filling me in and, showing me some of the timeline of some of the efforts. You have a lot of great events going on, and so the second lesson is, after you do a good event, ask Allah for acceptance. Number 2, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for sincerity. That we only do it for the sake of Allah. We don't do it because we want to be rated the best MSA in New York City, or we want to beat them, or we want to beat them. No. We do it solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to better our relationship with Allah, to give something back to our own community. Number 3, ask Allah for consistency, istiqamah. Consistency. And consistency, not only ask Allah for it, but work towards it. So quality over quantity, but with consistency. So if you can do 3 solid events during a semester, but be consistent with that effort. Don't make it so that the first event, this event, Finding Faith in Community, everybody put in 20 hours and really made it happen and made it work. The next event, it's like whatever, barely putting in 2 hours. No, show some consistency. That's very, very important. And fourthly and finally, the perspective. Never lose the perspective of what you're hoping and trying to achieve through these events and all of these programs. And that is to help people find, discover, become closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the sole primary objective. We are facilitators of people's relationship with Allah. And that's it. That's really all that there is. We have no other agenda. We have no other motive. We have no other ulterior motive. We are just trying to help be facilitators in people's relationship with Allah. Introduce people to Allah. That relationship with Allah will take them the rest of the way. So just a few words of advice, and more than anything else, just appreciation and admiration for, just the remarkable event. I'm pretty sure you guys were paying attention. There were brothers there, there were sisters there were, teenagers there, children there, older people, families, and that's really a testament to the fact that, all these steps I talked about, you guys implemented them, and all these people were able to come through and were able to benefit. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us sincere and consistent and make us a means of others getting to know Him. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. Lastly, I almost forgot, please make dua for us as well. Don't forget to make dua for me, but especially my family. I always ask people, they're the ones that make the real sacrifice. So my wife, and especially my two little girls, I have two daughters. They're 4 and 6 years old. So they're my world revolves around them. So definitely Maryam and Aisha, definitely make lots of dua for them. And then our students that we have in Dallas at the beginner program and the Alam program. Whenever we travel, we basically leave those students high and dry. They take out a year of their life to come learn from us, and then we disappear for days at a time. So they put a lot of faith in us, and they also make that sacrifice for the sake of the community. So make dua for them as well. Assalamu alaikum.